So hi guys, I'm Phoenix Carnevale. This is Everything Martial Arts, and I'm here to find out a little bit more about Into the Badlands, the martial arts epic series that's coming to AMC. I'm with Emily.
Hello.
And I'm with Daniel.
Hey.
And they're two of the main actors in this epic film. I've seen 2 episodes. I'm hooked already. I think you guys will be too. So Emily, I want to start with you first.
Yeah.
Like a feminist, just absolute badass. What's it like playing this character?
She's completely empowered. It's an exciting role to play, and it's I think people are gonna really love her, and I think she's such a strong character that I admire. Her facets of her character I really admire, and it's
So
great.
you didn't have any martial arts experience going into this?
No,
but you
I
learned a hell of a
didn't.
lot.
Yeah, we did. We did a 5-week training with Daniel and the other guy.
Grinder for sure on that one.
Yeah, we did it in New Orleans heat, which was really intense, and
And with like 7-inch heels.
I didn't do the training. I did the training towards the end with the 7-inch heels. I didn't really want to break my ankle so early.
Right.
And then I used more of the heels when we were filming. But yeah.
But your character is really like a knife-wielding chick.
Yes.
Can you talk about what it is about her personality and why knives were really the weapon of choice for her?
Well, for a woman, the knives, I personally found them easier and just to use, and they were less heavy than...
Yeah, like a sword.
Yeah, like my strengths, I think, lie in my agility, not my strength. So I think the daggers were perfect for me. And they're kind of something a bit spidery about them, something a bit widow-like about them.
It kind of went along the way with the style, the way she fought. And like, you don't know about this, but there was a producers meeting that we talked for like 2 hours about which weapons belong to which people. And we went through different kinds of swords, different kinds of weapons, and we were like, okay, Widow should be this, Quinn should be this, Sunny should be this. So there was a lot of thought put into that system.
I'm a fight commentator here in New York, and one of the things I always say when I see a fighter come out is that a fighter fights with his personality, right? Like who they genuinely are inside when they're put under pressure. So what do you think your fight personality is, and what do you think your fight personality is?
Sharp and quick and vicious and intelligent, strategic. Yeah.
And yours?
I think Sunny is direct. He's direct. He just goes with what will stop whatever's going to happen in that moment.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're looking at martial arts in films, right, it was a kind of a big deal. In my generation, we grew up with like Saturday morning kung fu and Sunday morning kung fu, and then that sort of disappeared from pop culture and from television. Why do you think it just went away?
I'm not sure why it went away, because I grew up with that too as well. I mean, that's a major reason why I started learning martial arts, is because watching those stuff on TV. Maybe they ran out of the library. I mean, because it was like every weekend there was 2 movies playing every weekend, and then, or maybe there just wasn't advertising for it. Because really, in the end of the day, why stuff disappears is because there's no money in it anymore, right? And so maybe a generation had grown up, but I don't know why, because then, RZA was obviously influenced by that stuff. The Wu-tang Clan was like throughout the 90s, yeah. All that stuff, it was major influences. Let's just say that maybe it left TV, but the influence kept going on in other different ways, What's in that trunk?
Ain't none of your damn business.
This is the first time this is on television. So what was like the kind of the light bulb that switched that said, hey, let's bring this to TV?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with AMC and Joel Stillerman at AMC going, we should see this on TV. Why is it? He actually asked that question that you said, which is, aren't we seeing this stuff on TV? And I think the genesis of this whole project happened at the premiere of Man with the Iron Fist, that one of our producers was there with Joel Stillerman, and they had this conversation about why we're not seeing martial arts on TV, and maybe there's something we can do. And from there, that spawned the whole idea of Into the Badlands,
Do you think that like mixed martial arts now being so huge in pop culture kind of plays an influence on people having more of a demand for martial arts on television?
Sure. I mean, I think anything that hits the mainstream then creates a sort of whole market for that kind of thing. And with UFC becoming what they've become now and becoming a mainstream sport, you definitely have a lot more kids now that know more about martial arts than you did in the past, and that's a huge influence. And then once you build that kind of market, then therefore there's a need for that product, right?
Absolutely. And Emily, speaking about empowering women, have you heard of Ronda Rousey? Do you know anything about her?
Ronda Rousey.
You have homework to do. So Ronda Rousey is like one of the most dominant athletes of all time, and is actually the first woman champion in the UFC, and she's like totally kick-ass. So that's my homework assignment for you.
Yes, please.
I just like her because of this beef with her and Mayweather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is it that you like about that?
Because she's talking Mayweather down. He deserves it. Mayweather has a big old mouth, and she's able to shut him down very easily. And so, yeah, I mean, she's a great fighter and all that, but I really like what she's, this little beef that's going on with her and Floyd Mayweather.
So we're talking about mixed martial arts being an influence basically on pop culture and just on martial arts in general. Has it played any influence on maybe some of the fight scenes or anything that we would see in Into the Badlands?
Oh, definitely. We do have a ground fight that happens in the show. I mean, technically, a lot of people stay away from ground fights because technically it's visually not as exciting, and only people who know jiu-jitsu would know what's going on once it hits the floor. I've been to many UFC fights where people who don't know anything about it get bored once the fight hits the ground, and so, but we do realize that a vast majority of our audience are fighters, and so they want to see real techniques in this show. And so we made an effort to do that. So you'll see some of that as it goes along. And we've got Kung Lee in the show as well. So, we're incorporating real fighters in the real fighting world into the show as well. And so that's all consciously done.
I have this impression of you, and I don't know if it's something that I'm sensing, but I feel like the people that you want to impress the most with the show are the real fighters.
Hell yeah, of course. I mean, that's the world I come from, and I think it's a pyramid. If you can impress the people at the top, the rest will follow, And so I've been a martial artist since I was little. I've been a martial arts fan since I was little. I've been a martial arts movie fan since I was little, and so that's the audience that I'd like to cater to, Obviously, to have this show successful, we need to cater to a much larger audience than that. But to impress that niche audience is a real big focus of mine, for sure.
Absolutely. So sometimes I look at these fight scenes and I look at things and I'm not really thrilled with them because it's this choppy editing that they do, and you're like, I can't even. I'm like having a seizure just trying to watch,
Right.
The fight scenes.
Right.
But you guys have come up with a very creative style, very similar to Hong Kong cinema, where I can actually see the beauty and the choreography in the fights. Can you talk about what that was like to train for and to film?
It was so creative. I think the choreography was very creative and kind of idiosyncratic, kind of like you're not really expecting a lot of it, and I think that's why it's really special. It was very exciting learning the choreography because I don't really watch things just for the sake of fighting, but I really appreciate beautiful choreography and I thought it was really smartly done, and yeah, it was fun.
What were your thoughts on the choreography?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I think it's what we were brought on to do is to bring that Hong Kong style to American television. What is the Hong Kong style is long takes, and why are they able to do long takes? Because the performers are able to do it. And the reason why you see in the West where things are cut up so much is because the actor is not necessarily a fighter, and so they have to cut it up in that way. They don't have really a choice because it would look bad if they didn't. And so in our situation, if we can get the performer like Emily or me or whoever to do it as long a take as possible and to show their skill as a fighter as opposed to show someone's editing skill, that's really the end goal in the end. So that's what we're trying to achieve through Into the Badlands and really showcase the fight and not the editing.
Now, what was really interesting to me is something that you said yesterday that I really wanted to touch on, and that's training for martial arts, training as a fighter versus training as a fighter for TV. Mm-hmm. Can you touch on that a little bit?
It's very, very different. I mean, when you're training to do a movie or a show like this, for example, basically for 4 months straight, we fought like 10, 11, 12 hours a day. Every single day, 6 days a week,
yeah.
Right? When you train for a fight, you train maybe up to 3 months, 6 to 8 weeks for a training camp, and then you fight that one fight that's half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then you're done, right? This is not this. This is a marathon. This is what a fight is maybe a sprint, and this is a marathon. You got to be prepared for that. And so there's a lot that goes into it. You have to be constantly worrying about keeping warmed up and not getting injured and all those kind of things. Obviously, you still have to do that in a regular fight camp, but in our world, the training is about endurance and stamina and being able to last that long and being able to figure out how to survive in this film world where it's intense for 4 months and you've got to deal with it. And so how do you deal with it? the training, and all that is setting us up for that. And so that's why the 60-week training period was really important, is to get them on that level and get them ready for what's going to happen. Our training days were 9 hours a day. We started at 9 in the morning, finished at 6 in the evening, and so we wanted to make sure that they were mentally prepared for that.
Yeah, and you had to recover in like ice baths and all that stuff too.
Yeah, ice my knees, and it was mentally challenging too. Yeah.
All right, I have two more questions for you, and they're, okay, and they're nerdy.
Okay.
So you were discovered by Jackie Chan. What's he like?
Jackie Chan's awesome. I mean, he's everything that you think about him. He's a really warm, happy individual. But what I've learned the most from him is that he's a freaking workaholic. He never stops working, and I think that rubbed off on me the most from him, because you understand why he is an international superstar. Not just because he's great at fighting and doing all these incredible acrobatic stuff, but he works his ass off, and on top of that, he's a huge superstar, but he's a great person as well. And like, you can't really beat that.
It's like on my bucket list to be in a bar fight with Jackie Chan.
Well,
that was like
this is the funny thing. Is
more than anything in life.
Before I got into the movie business and before any of this stuff happened to me, when I was doing martial arts as a young kid, my one dream in life was to be like kicked down the stairs in a Jackie Chan movie. If I could be a stuntman and get kicked down the stairs in a Jackie Chan movie, that'd be awesome. And eventually what ended up happening is doing 4 movies with him and him managing my career for 11 years. So I went way beyond my dreams.
All right, so maybe that'll happen for me.
Yeah. Because he's always looking for new people to fight with.
That's fine. I will fight Jackie Chan tomorrow.
All right.
Totally. All right. And my last question, what do you think Bruce Lee would think of Into the Badlands?
Man, I hope he would love it, because he's a major influence on anything martial arts related, whether it's movies or the actual training of martial arts. And like, what I love about him is he was able to incorporate his philosophy in everything he did, which was the martial arts, acting, directing, and being a human being. And that's really what learning martial arts is about. It's not about fighting and kicking someone's ass. It's about how do you improve yourself as a human being in this world. And I think Bruce Lee embodied that idea.
Yourself?
That's beautiful. I think he would think it kicked ass.
Absolutely, it kicks ass. Thank you guys so much.
Everything martial arts. Uppercut. Everything martial arts. Kick to the chest. Leg sweep.